Right now, from KTAB News, your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics.
Hello, thanks so much for being here. I'm Travis Ruiz. We start with education here on Big Country Politics and the effects of the coronavirus on the next school year. Right now, here's Dan Booth with 4 possible scenarios from both Abilene and Wiley schools.
You always got to play with the cards you're dealt.
There's a chance school could start on time in August, but there's also a chance they could start and have to shut down again because they're not safe yet. The schools are also ready to switch up class schedules to adhere to social distancing restrictions.
The commissioner calls them micro closures. 3 to 5 days here or there, depending on where your hot spots are, and giving you an opportunity to clean and sanitize and all those things.
If Governor Abbott doesn't believe it's safe to open up schools on time, both Abilene and Wiley are preparing to hold off on any in-person school activity until January 2021.
We're going to have some kids that are learning online and some that might be in the building, or maybe everybody's online in a portion. So whichever of those cases is true, we've got to be ready to do that.
With summer school around the corner, if students can't physically go to school, online classes will be an option.
In the same manner that we've done this and giving people freedom to do some of these lessons when they can. Trying to offer support, get feedback as much as we can, and continue to move forward.
In these uncertain times, local schools are prepared to continue online learning for anyone who needs it or anyone who doesn't feel comfortable with going to school until COVID-19 goes away.
Even if we opened full tilt in August, you would have some parents that didn't want to send their kids to school. And that would be their decision, and that would be okay. But we need to have an option for them to be able to continue their learning in AISD online.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Dan Booth.
And it is important to know these are right now just the blueprints handed down from the state level. But as the situation evolves, we'll of course fill you in along the way. All right, next, more coronavirus news. The Abilene Fire Department hit hard by the coronavirus this last week. More than 40 members of the department testing positive, including the fire chief. KTAB's Danica Hill is speaking with the fire chief and the deputy fire chief about the state of the department.
The Abilene fire chief is part of the 28% of positive COVID-19 cases in the department.
I'm doing okay. Kind of just been feeling like I've got a mild case of the flu, some body aches.
Fire Chief Candy Flores is now home in self-quarantine, like more than 40 other department members.
We're seeing kind of a range of symptoms. All of them are pretty mild, which we're very grateful for. It's a lot of GI issues, and then a couple of guys dealing with cough, but nothing severe at this point.
The department employs more than 180 people, and right now they're not being required to take a test.
We've anticipated that this could happen, and so we do have continuity of operations plans, and at this point, now that tests are available, I think that's why we're seeing more positives, but to make it a mandatory test for everyone, I don't know that that's prudent at this point.
The department has 12 fire trucks staffed with 4 firefighters, and they say even with many of them out, the trucks are still fully covered.
All of our personnel that work in either support services or the fire marshal's office or in training, if they are negative tests, they have been reassigned to emergency services.
Mike Burden is the deputy chief for the department.
We're not seeing just one fire station lit up. I wish there was some rhyme or reason to this pandemic and how it's affecting us, but there's really not. We'll see 1 or 2 at one station and 0 at another.
Deputy Chief Burden says they started taking precautions as early as March to try and slow down the spread of the virus.
So anytime that our personnel are interior of the fire station, or anytime they're in the fire truck making emergency responses, they have their masks on.
They say they hope to have majority of their staff back on duty in the next 10 days. In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Danica Hill, KTAB News.
Now, the chief also says over the last weekend, every station, every fire truck in the department were professionally disinfected. All right, and one of those firemen who tested positive is now self-isolated at home with his family. KTAB's Jessica Rank talked with Ben and Lindsay Cotton about being confined and what it means to them and their children.
Ben Cotton is no stranger to responding to emergencies. But this time, it's not a fire he's fighting.
I was feeling a lot more lethargic than what I had been.
Cotton, one of the many Abilene firefighters testing positive for COVID-19, and now that his family is getting those same results, they're responding in the only way they know how.
We just wanted to be honest with people.
All right, good evening, folks.
The couple documenting each step in the recovery process.
What the life of COVID-19 looks like in a family of four, staying in a house together.
And more than that, it's meant to ease the minds of some of the youngest in the key city.
We have a 9-year-old, and he was really freaked out about, number one, Dad coming home with it, and then number two, we're all dying. That was his.
Before we tested positive.
Yeah, that was before we tested positive. I understand there's a lot of serious cases out there, but I also want people to see that there can be some positivity out of this.
And so from the questions to the little pieces of advice.
We're going forward as a regular family here.
Not much is changing.
Because of this family's mild case, they're able to shine a light on those who aren't in a hospital bed.
We had a family out of Dallas message us and say that her daughter has really been having some anxiety over all of this. And since they know us, her mom was like, wait, come in here. The Cottons are on Instagram. And watch the video, and she said her daughter's just like so much more at peace with it, knowing that we are positive for it, but we're okay.
There was a guy that gave us a question last night that said, what's the meaning of life? And I think he was just throwing it out there trying to be funny, but I took it serious. And honestly, what's going on right now is, to me, what the meaning of life is. How do we respond to these things? And where's your faith walk at? And we've always explained to our boys, walk by faith, not by sight.
And that's what these two plan to preach during their daily updates for the next 14 days. In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Jessica Rank, KTAB News.
Love that family. All right, now to our Eye on Texas. Governor Greg Abbott reopening restaurants and retailers on Friday, but by taking those precautions, some say it's actually too soon. Others want Texas to lead the way. KTAB's Anna Wernicke reports from D.C. with both sides.
We need to get the economy going, and I think Texans will lead the way.
Texas Republican Congressman Jody Arrington says he supports Governor Greg Abbott's decision to lift the state's stay-at-home order on Friday. Retail stores, restaurants, movie theaters, and malls can all open for business.
Get our businesses back up and running and move forward, and we can do that responsibly and safely.
The state will open in phases. Businesses that open on Friday will only be allowed to operate at 25% capacity. But Texas Democrat Lloyd Doggett fears it's too soon.
To basically have the governor say it's okay to go back to the mall, go watch a movie. These are things that can cost lives.
Doggett says states should be following doctors' orders, which means staying home for now.
I'm concerned that there has not been enough attention given to medical science here.
Have we had 2 weeks of positive cases going down there? No.
Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar agrees.
I do want to open up the economy in a very measured, cautious way.
But Arrington says waiting any longer could force businesses to close for good.
There will be greater long-term harm from that.
Libraries and museums can also open Friday. As for barbershops, salons, gyms, and bars, the governor says he expects them to open no later than mid-May. In Washington, I'm Anna Wernicke.
All right, now to this headline. Salons did make the cut in phase 1 of reopening Texas, but at least one big country state representative says they should have. KTAB's Mercedes Hernandez has more.
It's so unfair that the big places that are going to be super crowded can get back to work, but us that are one-on-one are not allowed to.
That's what a lot of salon owners are thinking as their doors stay closed, while other businesses, restaurants, movie theaters, malls, are allowed to open theirs and serve at 25% capacity starting Friday. Salons weren't included in phase 1 of reopening Texas, and that's something State Representative Stan Lambert says should change.
And I don't think it will create problems as far as reopening the gates, so to speak, as far as the spread of the virus.
Lambert toting his support for beauty professionals on social media Wednesday, sharing they should be able to reopen as well, that their training and sanitizing workspaces is a big reason why.
I think we rely on our business owners to make good judgments, to use their training and their background to make sure that their customers that come in would be safe.
Sharing that same view is Michelle Gonzalez, the owner of Heart and Soul Salon in Abilene. Should she be permitted to open, she says she and her stylist would disinfect their stations even more than they already do.
You can only have one client, be done with that one for about 30 minutes so you can re-sanitize everything, and then the next one can come in.
The last month out of business has been difficult emotionally and financially for the salon owner.
How much money have you lost the last month? $4,000. That's at the least. Probably closer to like 5 or 6.
While she's been able to make some income from the boutique she also operates out of the salon, Gonzalez is ready to have clients back in the chair. But until then, she's holding out hope that COVID-19 will be out of her hair sooner rather than later.
I know we all just want to get back to work.
In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Mercedes Hernandez, KTAB News.
Beauty services are expected to be included in that next phase of business openings, which is scheduled to happen within the next few weeks. All right, now to Brownwood. Brown County was the site of the Big Country's first case of COVID-19. That means it had an early response. Here's KTAB's Nathan Grieve.
Brownwood Mayor Stephen Haynes says the quick response to COVID-19 was met with success, but now people are ready to go back to normal.
We had a great response. People took it seriously. They were taking the appropriate precautions. I think as we've gone on with time, we've seen less cases of community spread. The natural inclination and rational inclination is to be out and get out more.
Throughout the rounds of stay-at-home orders, the city itself is running smoothly, continuing to offer all their normal services.
We're still picking up trash twice a week. We're still providing water and sewer services. Our fire and police are still servicing the community. So we're able to manage the health crisis on one side and yet also maintain services to the public on the other.
For the future, good signs that the people of Brownwood can get back to normal too.
More than 3 weeks without a positive community spread type case, which is very positive for Brownwood and certainly indicates that we're not having a lot of community spread cases.
And with demand for testing also dropping, Brownwood and Brown County remain optimistic. In Brownwood, with coverage you can count on, Nathan Grieve, KTAB News.
Brown County does have the second highest number of cases right here in the Big Country. All right, still to come here on Big Country Politics, more on the effects of what's happening with coronavirus across the Big Country. We're back in 2 minutes.